Hello, hello. Welcome to this edition of the Cancer Coach Talks. I'm your host, Leslie Nance, and tonight we are going to be talking about what the poop. Now, be honest. How many of you saw this title and thought, well, there's one I can't miss? We're going to be talking about your digestive system tonight, and the link between poor digestion and poor digestive health, and poor elimination and cancer, which is a big topic. So thank you so much for joining me. Let me introduce myself super fast. My name is Leslie Nance. I am the cancer coach, certified holistic cancer coach, certified excuse me certified not coughing right now coach, certified holistic nutritionist. I just had dinner. So certified holistic nutritionist and host of this show that I do on Tuesday nights called the Cancer Coach Talks. We come here, we talk about all kinds of topics to help make your body more inhospitable to cancer and to disease. So thank you so much for joining. Please, if you will, take a moment, comment, like, and share. We appreciate it so much when you do that. You never know who needs this information this evening or ever for that matter. So thank you so much for those of you that are brave enough to share out a broadcast that says, what the poop. So we are going to be discussing topics that if you are a little sensitive that to this type of conversation, maybe you want to watch it in replay. I don't know, but this is a very important part of our lives, and everybody poops, right? Every single one of us. I have to take a drink. It's been a long day of phone conversations, so my voice actually gets tired by the end of the day. So, but this is an important conversation to have, especially when we're talking about active cancer in the body or a cancer diagnosis. I'm going to share a little bit of my story about that as well tonight. But we're going to start off the conversation by saying hi to some people. So hello. Hi, Victoria. I can't believe you're here either. It's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hi, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much for being here. It's good to see you. It's good to see you too, my friend. Hi, Debbie. Excuse me. All right. Last time. Hi, Rosette. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. So if you're here and you leave me a comment, I know you're here. And if not, you can sit quietly in the background. That is okay too. So hi, Yvette. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so here we go. Let's start this off because I think this is really important. So when I started cancer coaching, I started noticing a trend especially with women with breast cancer. And when I would ask the question, or they would come in to be my client and they would fill out their intake form, one of the questions is asking about digestive health and eliminations. And so one of the options is that's right. Poop emojis happen. It's true. So everybody poops. But one of the questions is about digestive health and chronic health concerns. And almost every single woman was checking the constipation box. And I started noticing a trend. So I spoke with my mentor about this and I was like, what are your thoughts? And she's been doing this for 35 years. And she's like, yes, it is definitely a trend that I have recognized over the years. So I really wanted to start like this landmark study about women that are chronically constipated throughout their life and breast cancer, because I just felt like there was a really strong link for that. And so when I started looking at what it takes to do a landmark study, I was like, maybe down the road I will do that, because I'm not equipped to do that right now for sure. Or nor do I have the funding or the backing or the contacts to have something like that happen. But it is a hypothesis that I felt very strongly about. And so doing a little more research about this over the years, there have been some small studies that have been conducted. One in the 1980s. There was another one that most recently done in the in 2019 that talks about the link between cancer and chronic digestive issues. So, especially when we think about constipation or even loose stools, so imperfect stools. So, I thought this is a really important topic. We should talk about this and the link to that. So, in 1989, there was a small study done, 123 women, and the study was conducted on bowel mobility, can't say that. Holy cow. Bowel mobility. There we go. And increased risk for breast cancer. And what they found is that women that suffered for long-term bowel immobility, so constipation essentially, were at a 30% increase for breast cancer. Hi, Walter. Hi, Justin. It's good to have you. Thank you guys for joining. It's great to have all of you here so quickly tonight. Poop is a really popular subject, I guess. But what they found is that there was a 30%, and they said an insignificant, the study actually says an insignificant increase, 30% risk for breast cancer for women that have had chronic constipation or bowel immobility. And so, I found this really interesting. So I wanted to figure out what the link there was. So the study goes on, right? The study goes on to talk about fecal mutagens and how they actually react in the human body, particularly, hi, Tommy, hi, Debbie, right? It's true. We all do it. But how the fecal mutagens actually circulate to the breast tissue and hang out there and create a toxin in the breast that can actually turn into cancer. So not always, obviously, but at some point, this chronicness of this, you get that fecal toxicity essentially going to the breast. Now, this makes a lot of sense because one of the best ways that we move estrogen out of our body is through our eliminations. And so if you're not eliminating properly, that can actually stack on top of each other as well, cause too much estrogen. So you're not metabolizing. I know I'm talking fast. It's because this is not the important part, but I want you to hear it anyway. But you actually build those toxins up over time in the breast. And the estrogen, and if there are any circulating tumor cells in the breast that feed off of estrogen, they can actually grow in rapid rate from that if you're not eliminating properly. OMG. And that was my hypothesis, by the way, is that that's what was happening, is that the metabolization of estrogen was not leaving the body properly, therefore creating a proliferation of estrogen, too much estrogen in the body. Even though you were making normal amounts, you had too much in the body. If there were any circulating tumors that had estrogen receptors, then it would cause them to grow because they would have that information to do so. And just to note that only about 7% of our estrogen leaves our body through our stool. But if you think about chronic disease since puberty, to having chronic disease, meaning chronic constipation from puberty to menopause, that is a lot of estrogen building up and not leaving the body properly. So you can see where that would wreak havoc in our breast, and also later studies have now shown in our ovaries as well. So, but that's not the only problem as far as cancer and constipation. There, of course, is a link as well, although it's been highly debated. There is a link between colorectal cancers and chronic constipation, but also between colorectal cancer, especially when we think of rectal cancer in particular, and loose stool, chronic loose stool as well, or diarrhea, as you may think about it. So too much mobility in the bowels or not enough, causing problems in the colon and in the digestive system. So very, very interesting studies. Brand new study just came out in 2019 that points to constipation and pancreatic cancer and constipation and ovarian cancer, with a threefold increase of pancreatic cancer for those that have chronic loose stool. So it's a pretty significant findings that we're finding about people that have digestive issues or digestive disease and these cancers. So I want you to think about this. This is how I want you to think about this. I want you to think about that if you went poop in your toilet every day and you didn't flush it, what happens? Right? You create a toxic mess. You create a biohazard, essentially, because it's going to come out of the toilet at some point. I know that's disgusting to think about, but you are going to have a problem. If you just did it for 7 days, you would have a problem in your toilet. So just imagine that toxicity that you are building in the body, not releasing the toxins, contributing to the toxins, getting the gut bacteria way out of whack, getting your digestive system way out of whack. This causes massive problems, not just cancer. It can lead to obesity. It can lead to diabetes. It can lead to a whole host of disease, chronic illnesses in the body, that those things can lead to cancer. So it contributes to, there's studies about constipation contributing to arthritis and Parkinson's. It's nuts. And so there's a lot of reasons that somebody can be constipated. It can be your actual physical makeup. So the way that you're made, the way that anatomically how you're made. And so let me just give you one example of that. My own personal example. I have been chronically, not anymore, but I was chronically constipated my entire life. My mom tells me stories of when I was a little girl. Misty. That's funny, right? Yes, you're exactly right, Anne-Marie. It can also be true of ovarian cancer. Absolutely. But when I was a little girl, my mom had to sit me up on the counter and feed me Castoria, which was a laxative to get me to go poop. I would go days without pooping as a child. And mom even said when I was a baby, I had that trouble. So from the time I was born until I was 42 years old, I struggled with constipation. And it wreaked havoc. I mean, it wreaked havoc in my life all the time. Not only was it stressful, it was painful. It was, I would lose energy when I wasn't going to the bathroom. I was fully addicted to, if you've ever used one of those glycerin enemas, I was fully addicted to those glycerin enemas. I would do one like once or sometimes twice a day to get my bowels to move. And so really what it came down to was the fact that not that my digestive system was not working well, it's because anatomically I have a problem. And this is going to get TMI really, really fast. Not going to show you or anything. But I am a short girl with short legs. I am very short from my hip bone to my legs. They are not very long. And so when I would sit down on a toilet, again, way too much information, but when I would sit down on a toilet, the way that my anatomy is made. So if you have, let's see, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. So if this is your sphincter, you have a little muscle that comes around that's shaped like this. And when you're standing, it helps keep it closed. It's like a backup. It's like a backup valve. And when normal people sit down, it releases a little bit. Okay. So when you bend your legs, it releases a little bit and helps the sphincter to release stool. Okay. I do not do that. This muscle does not do this very well. So I have actually learned over the past 7 years that if I elevate my feet a little bit, if I elevate my feet when I'm sitting on the stool and put my knees up at an angle instead of down, that actually releases that and makes it much easier to go poop. And so there is a device. It is called a squatty potty. And they have the funniest commercials on the planet. And if you've probably seen them in Bed Bath & Beyond and giggled at them. Who needs a squatty potty? Leslie does. But it is amazing how much easier it is for me to go when I have that process. So for some of us, it's actually our anatomy. For some of you, it's your diet. For some of you, it's cancer treatments. For some of you, it is chronic use of opioids because you have chronic pain in the body. For some, it is stress. For some of you, you're not drinking enough water. For some of you, you're not getting enough movement. There are all kinds of reasons that one might suffer from constipation. The same is true. Hi, Susan, right? I do. I have a squatty potty. That's right. Uh, Yep. Enemas, I had to actually train. That's a great point, Anne Marie. I actually had to train my bowels to go the same time every single day. And so for almost a year and a half, I used, actually getting close to 2 years, I used a plain water enema to train my bowels for the same time every single day so that they would get used to going, which worked like a charm. It was amazing, actually, what that created, along with the squatty potty in my life and being able to go to the bathroom like a normal human being. So yeah. Yes. So, but there are a lot of reasons that one may be chronically constipated. Anatomy is just one of those small things that it could be. But if you've tried everything and nothing's working, you might look into something like a squatty potty or even training your bowels with an enema. So it could be IBS. IBS is a chronic disease, irritable bowel syndrome. IBS means something completely different in this house, but I won't go into that. But it's funny when I say it out loud because I think of something else. But anyway, but irritable bowel syndrome is definitely something that can lead to chronic constipation, and then it gives you something called constipated diarrhea, where you feel really, really constipated and you have an explosion, and it's because of the constipation that it creates that. But that's a whole nother topic, the IBS. And yes. So anyway, but there are all kinds of risks if you have been chronically, and some of you may be having like a light bulb moment where you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is me. This is what I've been dealing with. Maybe if I fix this, then I can fix what is happening to me as far as cancer is concerned. So it's an important conversation to have. So what I'd like to do now is, I think it's really important to define what is a good stool, like what does a good poop look like and what is a bad one, so that you have a really, really good understanding of what constipation, what perfection looks like, and what inflammation kind of looks like in the body. Because if you're having soft stools, then you are most likely you're most likely dealing with some inflammation. So I am going to share with you, I'm going to share my screen real quick. So bear with me through this process because I've only ever done this one time before. So let me go grab it. So there is a chart. There is a chart. Oh, that's really small. I was hoping it would be bigger than that. Darn. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Hold on. There we go. Yay. Okay. So there is this chart, and it is called the Bristol stool chart. And this gives you just what you wanted to see. I really hope that nobody is watching this and eating dinner right now. Right? Yes. That's right. You're exactly right, Janice. Eastern potties are, we were in China several in 2012, actually, right before I was diagnosed with cancer, which is weird to think about. But they had squat potties, and I love those things. I was like, these rock. You don't have to touch anything. You just go in and do your business and get out. It was amazing. So anyway, yeah, it is ancient squatty potties. Yeah. It's true. And if you've ever been into in New York City or one of our bigger cities here in the US, you've seen a photo or an image, like a little icon of no squatting. They don't want you to stand on the toilet and squat because that's what Eastern cultures do. And they don't want you to do that because you could slip and fall, of course. So, but if you've ever seen those, that's what that's all about. So, okay. Anyway, so this is the Bristol stool chart. The Bristol stool chart is, this is one that has a little bit more information on it than just showing you poop. And so the first number one is what I lived with my entire life. It feels like that number one little rabbit pellets. If they look like rabbit pellets and they're hard and dry and they're only coming out in little nuggets like that, in this case, nuggets are not good. So you want to make sure that that's not happening. And then the next one that is constipation are when the nuggets are all clumped together. So they're still nuggets, but they're just coming out in a little bit bigger pieces. That means that, look, that's funny. It says lumpy and like sausage. But it is shaped like a sausage, but it's coming out lumpy. That is also constipation. So when that happens, you need insoluble fiber. And so insoluble fiber is I have to refer to my notes because I don't keep all this stuff in my nugget in my brain all the time. So oat bran, barley, nuts, seeds, beans, lentils, peas, fruits and veggies such as cabbage, lettuce, bell peppers, grapes, cucumbers, and apples are all an example of insoluble fiber. And that's the type of fiber that you need when you are constipated like this. So you want to eat those. Now, here's something that somebody doesn't tell you normally, and that is that you want to make sure that you're chewing those things very, very well. If you're eating legumes, actually, let me just say this as a broad spectrum. You should be chewing your food until it is liquid in your mouth, and then you can swallow. And this is a hard habit to get into because we're always busy. We are always like on the go, and we don't chew our food enough. And so you need to be chew, chew, chew. Think of Leslie and think of chew, chew. Come on, ride the train, chew your food. All right. It is very important that you chew your food if you don't want rabbit pellets or sausage-like rabbit pellets or constipation. So let me say that again. Insoluble fiber. I'll say it slower this time. Oat bran, barley, nuts, seeds, beans, lentils, peas, fruits and veggies like cabbage, lettuces, bell peppers, grapes, cucumbers, and apples. Now, this is certainly not the only food that has insoluble fiber in them. This is just some of the ones that are higher on the list. Okay. So higher on the list. Just remember that we refer to this food as roughage. You might have heard somebody say, I need some more roughage. And you're like, what does that mean? Like you like 50 Shades of Gray or something? What? Sorry. Sorry. I hope y'all are laughing too. Anyway, it does not dissolve in water. So soluble fiber basically bulks the stool and helps it come out in a smoother fashion, right? So you're missing 3 molars, so you get tired of chewing. It's okay. You got to keep going. You got to keep chewing, right? So the next one underneath that, number 3 and number 4 on the Bristol stool chart is perfection. And perfection is could have a little lumpy, bumpy surface, and it's log shaped or sausage shaped. Really, perfection is one long piece of poop that is shaped like not a tornado, that would be bad, like a torpedo, and it has tapered ends. So it looks like a torpedo, and it's smooth. That is perfection. All right. So if you want to be a super pooper and you have poop goals, that is your poop goal. So on the days, I don't poop like that every day. I'm between a 3 and a 4 all the time. But when I have a 4, I'm like, it's like one of those moments you want to take a picture and show somebody because you're so proud of your poop. And if you're one of my clients, please do not take a picture of your poop. I do not want to see it. Unless I ask you for it. So just saying, I get text of crazy things and I don't want you being like, I'm a super pooper. Look, Leslie. I don't want to see it. Right. But those are the, yes, it doesn't have to be curved like a banana, but yes. Okay. So torpedo shaped, you have to laugh when you're talking about poop or it could get really serious really fast. So, but it needs to be torpedo shaped. And here's the color. The color should be the color of a Hershey Kiss. That is the perfect color. Okay, so color means things too. Light colored poop, you don't necessarily want that. Super dark poop, you don't want that. You want Hershey Kiss torpedo smooth shaped poop. That is super pooping right there. Okay, that's the poop that you get rid of and you're like, that felt so good, right? Okay, totally celebrating the poop today. All right, so number 5. That's right. Number 5, number 6, and number 7. So number 5 would be like little fluffy clouds. So if you're pooping, this chart doesn't show them very well, but they're little soft edges, little fluffy clouds. They're not formed in any way, but they're just kind of coming out like almost in drops. I call this soft serve. So sometimes it comes out in soft serve. So it looks like soft serve ice cream. That is not, that means that you have some inflammation somewhere in the body, somewhere in your digestive system, mostly. So you don't really want that. And then of course, liquid consistency, which kind of makes me it kind of triggers my gag reflex a little bit. But thinking about liquid poop and even saying it out loud is kind of like, ugh, right? So yes, you want Oompa Loompa Willy Wonka candy bar chocolate. That's right. Milk chocolate, not dark chocolate, by the way. But it's the only time milk chocolate's better for you is when it's the color of your poop. So, but you don't want that liquid consistency for sure. That is diarrhea. Sometimes you have diarrhea if you've had extended amounts of discomfort and constipation, and then you have diarrhea with no solid poop. It could be because you're constipated or you're obstructed. Or it could be a sign of something even more dangerous if it happens all the time that you need to see your doctor about, because it means you have an obstruction somewhere in the bowels. And the only thing that can get out is liquid around that obstruction, but it could just be some stuck poop as well. So if you've ever been super constipated and then you have diarrhea, it's typically because of the constipation that you're having the diarrhea. So just if it happens more than like 4 or 5 days, you need to see your doctor, because something else could be going on. So there you go. There's the stink of the Bristol stool chart. Does anybody have any questions? We were going to talk about soluble fiber. Let me say that. So if you have inflammation in the gut, it means that your gut bacteria is out of whack, and it means that you need some soluble fiber. I also refer to these things as prebiotics. If you work with me, you know I talk more about prebiotics than I talk about probiotics, because you can take all the probiotics in the world, but if you're not feeding those little suckers, you're not doing anything. And so to feed those little suckers, the good gut bacteria, you need to make sure that you are getting prebiotics. And so to get prebiotics, you need to eat foods like this. Apricots, grapefruit, bananas, nectarines, berries in the fruit category. In the grain category, plain oatmeal. So slow cook, long cook oatmeal is amazing for that. And then most grains, and we're talking about brown grains. So quinoa, brown rice, millet, soba. Let's see what else. Buckwheat, all of those dark grains that you can think of. Or wild rice really isn't a grain necessarily, but is also good for soluble fiber. In the vegetable category, we think about Brussels sprouts, collard greens, asparagus, sweet potatoes, starchy vegetables in general. So regular potatoes, sweet potatoes. We think about, what else do we think about there? Green beans, zucchini squashes, carrots. All of those are amazing source of soluble fiber. And think about it this way, is that soluble fiber actually absorbs water. So it helps, again, bulk the stool a little bit so that you don't have reoccurring loose stool like this. Now then, remember that soluble fiber is also good for your gut bacteria, which means that you're going to naturally boost your immune system. And when you naturally boost your immune system, you make your body into a cancer-fighting machine. And it's better for not getting flu and sickness and ailments that come along in the wintertime like this. It also helps regulate your blood sugar. and it helps lower your cholesterol. And I know that if you're a keto fan, or you have been, or you've even heard of the keto diet, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense because keto says blah, blah, blah about you shouldn't, you're going to eat these grains and raise your blood sugar, and that's going to create, cause more cancer. That is baloney. That is baloney. We need these carbohydrates, these natural carbohydrates, to help with our digestive system. And it's the best way to get them. So is to get them in natural foods and not to supplement with them. So bottom line is that healthy digestion and elimination contributes to our overall health. Let me get rid of this poop chart. Hold on just a second. Let me just exit out here, and I think it goes away. It did. Oh, yay. That was super easy. Okay. So, but this contributes good bowel movements, right? Nice, normal bowel movements contributes to our overall health. It contributes to keeping us really super inhospitable to cancer and to disease. Remember, we talked about a 3-fold increase for pancreatic cancer and bowel cancer for people that are chronically constipated. We talked about the risk, 30% increased risk for women that have been chronically constipated in their life. Now then, let me just say something. If you're in cancer treatments right now, or you're taking a pain med and you are freaking out because you are constipated because of those treatments, that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about basically your adulthood. If you've struggled with this, I'm not talking about a week or two of being constipated. I am talking about a long-term situation in your health that you have been dealing with this. That is where those increased risks come from. So don't want you to think, oh, I get constipated like once a month around my period, and oh my goodness, that's pretty normal actually. And so, oh, that's really bad. That's not great, but it's not putting you at risk like these numbers are talking about. So let's be crystal clear about that, okay? But when we have healthy elimination and healthy digestion, it contributes to our overall health, making us super inhospitable to cancer and to disease in general, especially when we think about chronic illness or chronic disease. So how do you get it? How do we get perfect poop, Leslie? For some of you, if it's a lifetime, you need to hire somebody to help you. You need to find somebody that can help you through that process. If you have active cancer or you've had cancer in the last year, I am your girl. I can help you with that. But if you don't, and you're like, what do I do about this? You need to find a professional that can help you through the process of righting that wrong in your body. If you've been dealing with it as long as I had, you need to get on it. You are a ticking time bomb and you need to fix it. I feel very confident about saying that out loud. So, but here's some simple things that you can try and do like right away. If you guys have ever heard me talk about the 5 pillars of health, they all contribute to healthy digestion. So hydration, activity, stress management, getting enough sleep, and making sure that you're eating a mostly plant-based diet is an amazing way to help regulate that elimination process in the body to get that perfect super pooper stool, right, on a regular basis. So again, I don't get it all the time, but most of the week you got this perfect pooper in there. And so to do that, I'll say it again, 5 pillars of health. If you've not read my article or seen my video about the 5 pillars of health, I highly recommend that you go seek it out. I'll put a link here from my website to the 5 pillars of health. It's an amazing easy structure to follow. So hydration, activity, stress management. For constipation, a more plant-based diet. I'm not talking about vegan or vegetarian here, people. I'm talking about eating more plants in general. And then good sleep, contributing to the overall health and helping with the elimination. Few tips beyond that, of course, the squatty potty. If you're taking a regular stool softeners, or you're using like a Miralax or a Metamucil or something like that, you need to start, or like I was addicted to those glycerin enemas. I bet I spent a small fortune in glycerin enemas. If you've got something like that you're using constantly and you're not in cancer treatments or you're not taking any opioid drugs, it's just a problem that you're having in your health, then I would encourage you to find a way to get off of those, to regulate your lifestyle so that you can correct this problem. This is one of the easiest problems to fix in your health, just with some simple changes in your lifestyle. So there you go. That's what I have to say about it. That is the poop of it all tonight. So anybody have any questions, right? Anybody have any questions? I would love to answer them. I'm going to go back and look through some of your comments here. She's calling me a goofball. Can you believe that? Do you guys so insulted right now? You guys have to understand, Janice is one of my very best friends. We've known each other since high school. So yeah, so you guys give her a shout out. By the way, she has an amazing little theater company in California. So hit her up if you're in the area. You're going to love her shows. So, okay, let's see. Yes, it's shaped like a banana. Ew, you know what? I could hardly watch Mr. Hanky and the Christmas poo. It just like even the little emoji kind of, there are three things this is why I'm not a doctor. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, one, the medical system is, I couldn't do it, but here's the other reasons. Poop, pee, and puke. The first time somebody pooped on me or peed on me or puked on me, I'd be out. Couldn't do it. I call them the 3 Ps. I just had this conversation with my dad, who just had surgery on Friday. I was like, here's the 3 things I don't do: poop, pee, and puke. So if you got any of those that you feel are uncontrollable, you need to talk to somebody else. I can't help you. So there you go. Oh my goodness. Okay. So that's funny, Terrence. I'm ready for this crap. There you go. All right. Misty's asking a question. Great question. Whole30, no beans, legumes, or grains. Oh, that's so sad. Really, Whole30 is no bean. I don't know a lot about that diet. So I don't know what kind of doctor that is that put you on the Whole30 and what the purpose of that was for. So I would need to know a little bit more about that. I can say that seeds and nuts would be a great solution for you if you're not eating any beans or grains, which I don't agree with. So, sorry. I'm just going to put that out there. I just don't agree with that. So, yes. Any other questions? You guys have any other questions? If not, I'm going to pop out of here. I got to go take care of my dad tonight. He's got to do his physical therapy exercises, and I'm going to go over and help him do those. So yeah, I'm just going to wait here for just a few minutes, right? To check for food sensitivities. Got it. Okay. Got it. Makes sense. So you're doing a type of an elimination diet. So temporarily it's okay to leave those out of the diet, but there would have to be a good reason. So that's a good reason. Yeah. If it's a lifestyle, I would question that. If it's for due process to figure out a problem, I disagree with that, actually. Just an overall health. Anybody else? Just for 30 days. I love you too, Misty. I love you too. Anybody have any questions? I'm just going to type in, if you are dealing with active cancer right now and you're like, okay, this woman knows her poop. I can't help it with the poop puns. I have about 100 more that I am refraining from using tonight. You guys should just know that. It's very, very hard for me to not use them all. Okay. You're welcome to throw them in the comments if you want. But if you're going right now, this girl really knows her poop and I need to work with her. I need to find somebody like this to help me. I only work with people who have active cancer. So you need to have an active cancer or active cancer treatment or have been in remission for 1 year or less. Those are the people that I work with. So if you have any of that and you're looking for somebody to coach you through that process, I am happy to speak with you about it. It starts with a phone call. We talk about what's going on in your life, when you were diagnosed, what kind of cancer. We really get down to the nitty gritty. And then if you feel like I'm a fit and I feel like you're a fit, then we talk about working together on a one-on-one. I'm a one-on-one coach. I am not a one-size-fits-all. Everything is personalized to each individual person and their needs through their journey. And yes, so I'm just going to put in a link for that. If that interests you, you can just click on that link and book a call with me. I think we're booking into next week right now. So, but here's that link. So let me type in here. I will answer your call in just a second, Victoria. Oh no, Rosette. Hold on. Just hi, Rosette. Oh, I think I already said hi, but hi again. I'll answer your question in just 1 second. So it is a free call with Leslie. That's me. I always feel weird like doing third person, but makes sense when you're like watching a replay. Okay, so www. I can't remember. No, I got it. Go to kitchens.com/apply. So if you go to that link that I just posted right there, did I type it in right? Yes, I did. Okay, / go to kitchens apply. That will give you my personal calendar where you can book that call. You can also reach out to me in DMs. I'm happy to do that. So, all right. Rosette is asking this question. Look at that gorgeous girl. Oh my gosh. You guys should know that Rosette is total cancer boss. She is amazing. Okay. Anyway, how many times should we poop daily? So that is a great question. So a lot of places out there will say if you want to be a super pooper that you need to poop like 3 times a day. I say 1 time a day is awesome. At least every other day for sure, 100%ly, but the goal would be once a day. If you're going more than that and they're solid stools, like they're good stools, that's okay. 2 to 3 times sometimes when you're changing your diet, you go more than you were used to going. And so that is okay too. But the average should be 1 to 2 times a day. Getting up in the 3 times a day, if the third one is loose or the second or third one is loose or soft serve, that is really not doing you any favors whatsoever. Sometimes it signifies that food is moving too quickly through the system or you're overeating, but it's moving too quickly through the system and you're not absorbing the nutrients. And that is where color plays a big role, which we didn't get deep into color tonight, but if your poop is green, like you're eating a lot of vegetables and your poop is super, super green, that means you're not absorbing nutrients as well as you should. If it's a light color, it could mean that you don't have enough bile to create the color that the liver produces to help color the stool, and so that could signify something going on in the liver. But only if it's consistent. Right? So like if you have an inconsistent week and you're not pooping every day because you're traveling or whatever, or you've ate way too much like Italian bread when you're in Italy, because this is what happens to me. I eat all this fresh bread and sometimes, things that I wouldn't normally eat and I get baguette butt. And so I'm talking about your normal stools, not the ones that are extraordinary when you're in treatment or you're, doing something different or changing your diet. I'm talking about how it averages out on normal. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Oh, thank you, Victoria. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, once a day. You got it. Okay. So I am outie. Love you guys so much. Thank you for joining. What an amazing broadcast tonight. I will be back here. Is it next Tuesday? Yes, next Tuesday I will be here, but the Tuesday after I won't. But I will be back here next Tuesday. Next week, let's see. What are we talking about? Next week, we are talking about 3 things that happen when you slow your mind down. 3 things that happen when you slow your mind down. And I'm going to add 1 word in there. When you slow your mind down daily, the 3 things that happen in that exercise, in that process. We're going to talk about that next week on the Cancer Coach Talks. Make sure that you're following the page so that you get a notification. It was great to be here with you guys tonight. Love you bunches. Thank you to all my clients that are here this evening, to all my friends that are here this evening, some faces I haven't seen in a long time. And those of you that are just super fans, thank you so much for your love and your support. It means the world to me. So thank you so much. You help me help a lot of people, and I appreciate it very, very much. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to make like poop and get out of here. So You guys have a great evening. And before I leave, one thing I'd like to say to you, and that is this. Look me right in my eyes right now. Cancer is not your destiny. All right. Love you guys. Bye.